Yeah, I've never gotten one.
Like, what kind of item?
Like that scout shirt thing.
Oh, I have no idea, honestly. Okay, it looks like my stream's up. I'll go post. Okay, I made a post, and my stream should be up now.
My net just went down. I'm back.
Oh, nice. I should like make a Steam group for this. Whenever I cast the match, I'll just make an announcement in it. Then I could get regular viewers, and those 35 people who watched last time will come back.
Okay, it says this scout shirt is craftable.
Oh, is it? Well, is it like...
Well, it says drop as well, so let's see how to craft it.
Because I gave up on hats, so I haven't actually used any of my metal over like the last year and a half. So I have lots of it.
Mission ends in 10 seconds. You failed, stalemate.
It does say craftable, but I don't see a recipe.
TF2 wiki, not strong enough. Maybe it's just like crafted like a scout hat or something.
Sir, yes, sir.
Or maybe the thing lied when it said craftable, but...
Maybe. Well, they are 11 in, so you want to start this thing.
Why not?
Alright, we got 6 viewers. That's enough for an intro. One's probably me, one's probably you, so we got 4. That's good.
I don't have the stream open.
Alright, we got 5. 7. This rocks. Okay. So...
I don't know what to say about these teams.
The only interesting thing really going on here is this is the first match with Mixup's new roster. Or not Mixup's, well, I guess, wait, did Mixup play with KBK and Langsky before this? Either way, it's the first one that makes sense.
I believe they did play it.
Yeah. The first
we
match
cast the
makes
battle
sense
one, didn't we?
since they switched. Oh yeah, you're right, we did. and then now they get to play their old teammates.
Right. Let's see if that gives makes sense, a little extra boost, wanting to beat the people who ditched them.
Yeah, hopefully it does, because this on paper is going to be really one-sided in favor of mix-up, but I mean, you never know what could happen. And it's the only good match tonight, so you know, get a little casting going on. Even
One
if
of
it's
the
quick.
only matches. Mondays have been pretty bare the whole season.
Yeah. I guess this got pushed further through rescheduling because of some sort of ESCA problem last week. I don't know the details of it, but normally you can't schedule on Mondays.
Maybe it was rescheduled
Oh, I
to the
guess
fact that their entire roster got cut.
that's a good point. They did need a few days to deal with that. So we're just waiting on, I think, Boulder to join the server.
Is that who they got to replace Sweater?
Yeah, I think he's going to play. Let me look at their roster.
Yeah, Platinum is asking, where is Big Bold?
Right, right. Medic. All right. Left. Right, right.
Boulder warming up with some Zombie Fortress. That's a classic way to do that. I don't even know what that is. So what do you think the score is going to be? Do you think makes sense we'll get around? Two rounds? X rounds? Is your net dying again?
Wait, hold on. What are we predicting here?
Yeah. How many rounds do you think make sense?
Let's give them 1 round for disliking their old teammates, and we'll give them another round for Zombie Fortress. So
Okay.
2 rounds sounds pretty good.
So 5-2 for makes sense then, you think?
Hopefully it's not a complete roll.
Yeah. I'll go with 5-1 because we lost both our games 5-1 this week, so I feel like it's a strong score. But I do hope that it's closer than that, because of course I want to cast a really good game.
Well, I've had some pretty good luck casting games.
That's true.
They've all been pretty good. So we'll see if the streak continues.
Yeah, we're really testing the luck here. This is like, I mean, at least the other ones, you know, we're supposed to be really close. Not to say that this won't be, but we'll see. It'll be exciting.
Attention. 5 minutes left in the mission. 5 minutes left in the
So,
mission.
Boulder's in the server now. We're just waiting for everybody to ready up, I guess.
So what are some things to look for on this mid?
I think one really telling thing is which soldiers manage to create more room for their team for a longer period of time. Or whose bomb ends up being more effective, because if you get stuck on your side and you're not able to like properly control a health pack, or if you know a health pack gets stolen by the bombing soldier, then that can really play a big deal on mid. Also, as always on this map, you have to watch for if a demo opts to go cliff, which is a little risky because of the spam thing that soldiers can do up the left side of there too. Early damage on the demo can be a big deal. And also like the first sticky from the demo, because if you do go cliff, you can launch a sticky onto their main door pretty easily, and that'll cause it, you know, that'll cause them to swing way in your favor, because the other demo has to back up and wait for the medic to get there before you can really commit.
Right, I've always found it a little bit hard to do too much damage as a soldier on this mid. Maybe that's just because I'm bad, but I found it pretty useful to just sort of try to stay alive as long as you can and try to draw as many shots as possible to let your team deal with the counter bomb as well as allow them to move up.
Yeah, that's a good point. This mid is kind of plagued by a lot of slopes and roofs and walls and fences everywhere that are really good at eating rocket splash, so soldiers can't do as much here as they can on other maps, but you still have a lot of health, and they still have to kill you, because if they leave you alive, you're gonna hit some directs eventually, and it'll be rough for them. But yeah, it's not like Granary where you can have a roamer just jump, like super jump over a box onto the medic and expect to get him. And I say that, but of course, focusing the medic's an awful idea on mid. Just perpetrating bad tactics.
Well, sometimes it's just the closest target, and dealing damage is better than not dealing damage.
It's true. So I guess we're live here. I'm gonna watch Boulder on the way to mid here, and he's going for a right side rollout from the looks of it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and watch Smacka then. He's doing the same. He's going to their cliff.
Both on cliff. Boulder does take some spam.
Boulder ate a
from
lot
that
of
soldier.
spam. Yeah, that cliff spam with the equalizer rollout that seems to be pretty popular these days.
Yeah. Langsy makes a bomb, but it didn't do a lot of damage, but it distracted just long enough for the rest of Mixup to just do some work there. And trying to make a play onto the medic, but there's a lot of shotguns and no dice. So quick mid for Mixup, and they're moving ahead to 2 with their combo.
Time has been had. Alert.
And this will certainly be a 2-tap. I expect makes sense to just set up for last year, because there's too many people up for too long for them to go contest it. Sometimes you can contest your 2, but this is not one of those times. Now Mixup's, they're either going to go right now or they're going to wait for their demo. And looks like they're going to go before the demo, which could be bad, but maybe they're just going to try to kill the medic with his Uber Scout. And that's not working very well at all. Platinum jumps into heavy, the Uber flashes off for a second, and he gets killed. So they threw away their Uber advantage. I think they should have waited for the demo there. They had plenty of time before the other team got Uber, so it was going to be the same scenario. They just basically went for 4v6 when they could have gone 6v6. Now Squid with a big play, killing KBK. Should open the door for a push pretty soon out of makes sense, although they will have to go with Uber against 6v6, so it's a little tough. We'll see if they opt to do it or if they opt to hold their last, but I think they should give it a try. At least poke the doors a bit and see if they can make anything happen.
I just lost the net again.
Oh, well, good thing I was talking to myself for a while then. And actually, here they do go with the push. They have the Uber popped onto point 2. They're not finding any frags with it, but they have the entire enemy team zoned out. They just need some cap time, and it looks like their scouts are a little slow to point because they were busy checking the flank. That's all fine, but they need to get this cap pretty quickly. And actually, because of the way KBK died alone there, charge for makes sense, not that far behind Mixup. Mixup getting a frag onto basic and KBK getting pretty low might just be a quick recap here for them. It looks like makes sense is going to back out there, but I do like that play that they did. Actually, Cannon picking up 2 frags, and now it's 4v4. It'll be tougher. Makes sense to get back in here. They're going to edge the doors a bit, but it doesn't look like it's going to work out unless the scout can really make a big play onto Smacka and KBK. And he can't.
I don't agree with how aggressive Mixup was there. They had the Uber advantage. If they just kept everybody else up, they could have immediately pushed last. And instead, makes sense. We'll have a little bit of time to possibly get the Uber up now.
Yeah, I felt like makes sense was kind of forcing the issue there though, because they did go back in after Cannon got those frags. Although maybe those were where Mixup was overextending. Anyways, we have the Uber coming in again from the right side. Led with a scout and then Platinum following up. They actually don't have to pop for a while, but makes sense has it, so they should be solid on this last hold. Platinum gets juggled, can't do anything, and they're just going to back up. So trade Platinum and Cannon. makes sense hedging forward as if they want to do something, but I mean, they don't really have any way to do anything now. They have a heavy, so they can't really get that forward momentum, and it was 5v5 anyways, so pushing forward is not a very solid idea there. So they're just both building Uber with Basher scouts, and I guess we're just waiting around for the next push. No off classes from Mixup still. They're just going to opt to push and re-push until they actually get something going here from the looks of it.
Yeah, Mixup's last push, they led Enigma in, and I don't know if that was planned, if they planned to Uber him, but he died immediately without doing much.
Okay, so here comes the Uber again from the left side. Boulder took a lot of damage, got pushed into spawn, but no frags from Mixup, so not likely that this push is going to work. Platinum goes down, KBK barely makes it out. So this actually, cannon jumping forward, gets KBK with some nice shoddy work, and this is going to be the door that Mixup needed to open. Or makes sense, opened after Plat died. They just picked them off one by one, and a nice 2 recap from Mixup, so well played.
Yeah, really nice. That Uber was ineffective from Platinum because he spent his first couple rockets on a target that just stuck back into spawn. And then by the time he managed to force the Uber, he didn't have anything loaded.
Yeah, if he had killed Boulder, it would have been a really different story, but since he failed, it was way in Mixup's advantage.
Has been heard. Our control point is being captured. Alert! The control point is being captured.
But Mixup just deciding to do a push with no real advantage and just out DMing makes sense.
Time has been added.
Yeah, so they get the mid back, and this will swing too really easily as well, so looks like so far Makes Sense has been doing well around their own last, but they've been having issues on the rest of the map. Mixup has just been stuffing them back inside their own base. Now a big Uber advantage for Mixup, and I think their team is actually pretty well grouped up. They're just waiting for Platinum, and then they're going to go. So this is their best opportunity yet to take this last point. So let's see how they have to do it. Looks like it's going to be an Uber in left side with Plat, and Enigma leading the Uber again. Kind of like that, just to clear the sticks. Plat getting some damage onto the heavy there. A lot of good. This is good Uber. He's did a lot of damage, so that should do it.
That is the one downside of running a heavy, is that it allows the enemy team to focus really well, because they will almost always want to take out that heavy first. So all the damage automatically goes on him right away.
Yeah, you can't do any kind of baits like Boulder managed to do last time. And, you know, take a few rockets and then get away from the Uber, because heavies can't get away from anything. Watching Smack as we come to mid here, he gets a stick over towards Boulder, but looks like it misses. Boulder putting out some good damage, but Smack actually gets the kill with the help of Moose, so this is a strong mid for Mixup already. I don't even, I guess Makes Sense is going to commit, but when your demo goes down that early, you can't really expect much to go well for you, and indeed, really, there isn't much going well for them. Sync, actually, he's in danger of being chased here, but there's a scout right on him, and a soldier. He's got the needles out, but no dice. Pistol takes him out, so yeah.
Makes Sense should have gotten out a long time ago. They were still not out of mid when they dropped 3 people.
Yeah, I wouldn't have even jumped the soldiers after Boulder had already died. I mean, they didn't have enough. It wasn't like they could have called that somebody was super lit. The most damaged player they had, Smack at half-life, but he was like tucked away safely. To their credit, they did kill KBK, but if they'd just backed up, they would have, you know, been holding 2 rather than holding last.
Is he on crits? It seems to be building kind of fast.
Let me check. You're right. KBK critsing, Sync on the regular Uber, so a crits and there's a heavy, which is a very nice, tasty target for a crit Uber to take out in 1 or 2 shots. So see how Mixup takes this. Probably just leading with a scout again, or possibly Platinum, and then critting Smacka, just trying to clean everything up. They have the charge now, so yeah, here they come from left side. And yeah, Enigma going in, then Plat. Here's Smacka with the crits. Gets the first onto Sync. Hasn't hit anything else yet. Gets a scout. This is like enough kills easily to win this point. Put a bunch of damage on the heavy, and that should do it. So classic crits against nothing, and there you go, a white.
I really like that scout lead on the Uber, but not if it's Uber versus Uber.
Yeah, it's kind of nice because, like, Makes Sense is not actively denying those doors. They're kind of holding back a bit, and that lets Enigma just kind of run in. I mean, if he dies to a trap or something, you know, it's no big deal. They're just going to back up after that. But Like, there's
I know he argued against you on your thread on NATF2, but maybe he's taking some of your advice.
Okay, Langsky trades with Boulder. That's a good trade for Mixup, but a lot of frags going back down onto Mixup on the counter jump. Looks like actually maybe the first mid win for Makes Sense coming up here. And Sync looks like he's in position to survive, but no, Moose manages to take him out. So just Plat and KBK, who are separated now, just finding each other, versus the remainder of Makes Sense here. They're splitting their focus. Basic was chasing the medic, and yeah, actually picks up Platinum as well as he jumps back to defend him. So it's a mid-win for Makes Sense, probably. I mean, they don't have any cap time yet. I think they should have just killed Platinum.
I think Mixup will decide to go back in on this. They seem to really like just making it a DM fight with even numbers. Yeah,
and Langsky actually killed Boulder over the health pack as he was trying to get back to mid for a second time. So big advantage for Mixup here on this fight. They have their demo, and Makes Sense doesn't. Boulder seems to be having trouble surviving on these mids. He goes down early a lot, and then I think Makes Sense could have had that, but Tang and Basic picked different targets at the end there. They could have just killed Plat and let the medic escape and taken mid. Although maybe they, didn't want to deal with the Uber advantage. That would have given Mix-Up, so I don't know what the best call was there, but either way, it didn't work out all that well.
I actually think they maybe focused on Plat a little too much. It allowed Moose to get in and kill Sync while people were trying to finish off Platinum.
Here's some aggressive action from Makes Sense here. They're pushed all the way up to their cliff. They don't really have that big of an Uber advantage, so I'm not sure what the basis is for this. Maybe they're just trying
Perhaps
to...
Perhaps it's a crit bluff, maybe?
It's possible. But I mean, the time is... They seem to be edging backwards now. No, here's a jump in with Uber. Now they have an Uber exchange in yard with actually a lot of damage going on to Boulder there. It's a nice Uber from Mix-Up, but I don't think this is going to amount to anything. Basic manages to kill KBK, but a lot of people are down from Makes Sense, so I'd expect Mix-Up to just run in here and start killing people. Yeah.
That was a good cleanup. I'm assuming it was communicated that the Uber was good and it did a lot of damage, so Mix-Up had no problem committing even when their medic was down.
Yeah, they knew the health was still low. They outnumbered, Makes Sense in the frag classes. They didn't have long to really make a play there, but they picked their timing pretty well, and they got it. And as for Makes Sense's side of it, I mean, their Uber was alright. Like, they took damage on Boulder, but Basic managed to get in position to kill KBK after the Uber, but their flank didn't hold their own convincingly enough for that to, make enough of a difference. If they had a bit more health and been able to cluster up around their medic for about 10 seconds or so after that fight, then maybe they would have won, but as it was, no dice. So we're going right into the second half here, a quick ready up.
Yeah, Makes Sense was also in a position where the Uber could get forced really quickly. That yard position we talked about where we don't like to hold because it's so easy for a jumping soldier to get in there onto your medic.
Yeah, typically I don't like it, but it worked out for them okay in that situation. I don't know, it's hard to say because they did have to flash a lot as a result, but Mix-Up had popped right in, so it didn't work out too badly. Boulder lives the soldier jump here. Langston going down and Boulder only taking damage. Basic with a huge bomb, kept hitting the demo and med with multiple rockets. A really strong mid for Makes Sense. And you saw them briefly on the stream there with like 5 people on the red, and I don't think that was even bad focus from Mix-Up. I think that whatchamacallit, Makes Sense just did a good job of cycling their players. Like Boulder ate some damage and surfed back, and then Basic jumped forward to the pressure off, so well played from them. And if they play their cards right, this is another round. They're going to have to push pretty fast here. Basic leading this charge in, and there's the classic Enigma Pyro. Uber's popped. See if they can get through this reflect rain. And looks like they can. 2 frags already. They've got position close to the point, but they eat the Stiggy trap. I would have rather see them DM a little bit longer first, but their scouts maybe can make something happen? No. Am I?
Alert. Our control captured.
Yeah, I like the decision to get up there really quickly with that Uber, but possibly they just didn't do quite enough damage to
Time has
clean everything up.
Yeah, well they got 2 frags, but then their pocket and demo ate the trap on point. Like, why? You have to keep fighting.
Yeah, a little too eager to cap when you can just clean people up.
Yeah. Mixup kind of getting caught out here, trying to make a play out onto Sync in the right yard and losing both Moose and Lansky. So that's going to be makes sense cue to push. There's no Ubers in play, and Basic jumps way forward and gets focused down, but makes a lot of room for his team. There's tons of cap time, and the demo has position on point, so this should be a good cap for them. See if Mixup opts to like go with the aggression and try to push out here. If they're just going to hold last, I think holding last is the better play. I mean, Smack is still dead, so they need to get him back up before they can really fight.
We've seen this playstyle a lot out of invite teams. First Flow and now Mixup, where they kind of want to push all the time, whether or not they have an advantage or they don't have an advantage. And it really went against Mixup there, losing 2 people trying to get out of chokes when there was really no reason to try to go through them.
Yeah, particularly because it was their flank engaging on the enemy combo. I mean, they have buffs and you don't. It's not the greatest scenario. Alright, so waiting for makes sense to opt to decide where they're going to push from. Maybe they're going to suicide somebody and get a off class or something? Trying to see what's going on here. Squid actually ran all the way back to the first spawn and switched to sniper, so that was what was going on.
Wow. I guess that's not too bad because he gets scout speed going back, so he doesn't have to. He only has to be a sniper for the way back.
Yeah, I kind of like that because, I mean, it only takes, you know, what, 15-20 seconds to run across the map as a scout? That's similar to a spawn time. And
right, and you have a much bigger element of surprise because they don't know that you've switched class yet.
Yeah, they just know that something's going on because you haven't shown yourself for so long. But now the gig's up. He's
yeah. Unfortunately, he misses that first shot, so they know there's a sniper.
Yeah, and Moose shuts him down. Quick shot at a spawn. Plat trying to jump in on the combo. I'm not sure why, but he went down. I guess they're just trying to capitalize off that pick. But then Plat and Enigma went in one after another and died. Kind of weird play. Like, I guess they suicided Plat because Langsky was on heavy, but now Mixup just going to come in with those 2 frags. Squid is on scout for the cleanup, and they just cap because, you know, Plat and Enigma were dead.
Yeah, that's a play I've seen a long time ago in Invite where when people suicide to try to switch a class, the defending team then suicides one person of their own. You know, if it's successful, I guess that's great, but if it's not, you kind of just lose.
Yeah, and they opted to suicide 2 people and let it with their pockets.
Right, and Platinum especially.
Yeah, like I don't know, I don't like it too much. I mean, he was their only soldier, so if they're going to bomb a soldier, they had to do him, but I don't know. Alright, so both roamers are down, but there's a huge amount of damage onto Mixup, so this mid is not theirs, and Sync's going to back up, but it doesn't look like anybody else is going to make it out of there. They do kill KVK, so I think what's going to happen here is Sync's going to keep backing to last, and Indeed is there safe. I don't think they're going to get spawns in time to fight 2, although maybe they're just going to re-push it with their buffs.
The control point is being
And the threat of
yeah,
an
they
impending
definitely
Uber.
should. I don't think they should wait for this Uber because then all of Mixup will be in position, and you can still get kited really easily.
But they opted to go sniper heavy there. I think actually the soldier spawned on the left side and Sync went to the right side of spawn. Okay, they're pushing, but they have a heavy, so it's going to make it a little harder than it needs to be. They're forced out the door. They just need to find a frag here. Enigma getting really low, but everybody else is scattered, and Enigma didn't even die. Now Moose is going to try to make a play on last, finds the unspawn heavy, bunch of meat shots in, but doesn't quite finish him off, so now it's just the fight on 2 that I'm going to watch. And looks like Makes Sense is doing well for themselves in this one. I guess Enigma being lit and Moose not being in the fight almost made enough of a difference until Smacka and Langsy just hit all their shots and killed everybody.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Make Sense move a little bit more quickly there. Once the entire team is up, it's really easy to force the Uber coming out of 1 going into 2 and then just kite it away.
Yeah. I think what they should have done is they should have had that soldier and medic meet up better. Like, if the medic goes into the middle of last, then no matter what side the soldier spawns on, they can meet. And, then they could have, like, let it in with some spam, just hanging back, and then when the rest of their team spawned, they could have gone in. But as it was, they, like, had a heavy, they had a sniper at first, we switched back to scout for the push, and it was just a lot slower than it could have been.
Yeah, perhaps that was a bit of miscommunication. These guys haven't played together very long, whereas a team that's been scrimming together may have been able to capitalize on that.
That 1 health clutch.
And Tang with the cleanup, showing why if you keep a scout alive in mid, it increases your chances of winning more than if you keep a soldier alive at low health. Which is why we tend to like to pocket our scouts and keep them with the medigun on them.
Yeah, so nice play from Tang there. I wasn't sure if he got any kills leading up to that, but just barely having enough health to make it happen. 1 HP and the double kill onto the combo at the end, so really nice play for him. And now a big Uber advantage coming in for Sync. I guess he must have had an early death compared to KBK. Oh, of course, KBK died right at the end of mid. Duh.
Yeah, Sync died. He was the first kill on mid.
Okay. Now it looks like they're going for the right side push. They're seen by a soldier, but they get a lot of damage on him. So, and the sticky trap's dead. Here comes the Uber. Looks like they're just going to force people out a bit. Mixup doing a good job of scattering, but I mean, Smacka goes down, so this is still a good Uber for makes sense. You're going to get the cap. They're going to try to go into last. I'm not sure how much I like them going into last here. And it's less and less as I see how Ubered the other team is, so a bit of an overextension there. I mean, might have just taken 2 and left it at that, but now they're going to lose 2.
Yeah, a play that I really like is sort of moving in and then suiciding one person, because you would want to suicide anyways if the Ubers were behind to force that pop, but you can do it with just one person.
Yeah.
Instead, they all committed there.
And what you said about moving in as well, it makes it much easier for your team, for the person who is going to suicide, to make a play if you open the doors for them by distracting some spam away with their combo. But I think they just thought that Mixup didn't have charge, and they were trying to use that kill on Smacka to put the round away, but the timing was a little off. So KBK got it, and that was that.
The control point is being contested.
Now Mixup just rolling this point after point. Have to give credit to Make Sense for not bleeding players here. They have their 6 for last, but the Uber's coming in. Platt trying to get damage onto Sync, but okay, he does get him right at the end there. And that might be enough to seal the deal, but I mean, now it's just a 4v4 fight. KBK's still up, so if you can get enough heals onto Platt to make a difference, they can win this, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Actually, Smacka 1v1, and yeah, only 45 health in count there, so that's gonna put the game away. So 5-1. Oh, I got the prediction right. Yes.
Yeah, that was a very. You could just see how it makes sense. Lost all their momentum there. They were pushing last with, they were pushing last, and they got pushed all the way back to their last within a minute or so, and that's just very disheartening when that happens to you.
Yeah. And it's rough too, because I mean, they didn't even force the Uber that KBK eventually got on their 4th. They just, literally, Platt and KBK just walked across the entire map and then Ubered onto their last from being on their last. It's a very rough situation. Especially after, they were close to putting that round away. I mean, the decision to push their last wasn't, entirely misled. Like, I could see what they were doing. If KBK's Uber hadn't quite been there in time, and if they had had a little bit quicker cap time on 2 so that they had a closer follow-up, I think it could have worked, because they did kill Smacka there, but the Uber is, too much to overcome, and they didn't get enough damage out beforehand, just before KBK got that Uber to get a second frag, and that's really what they needed.
Right, but I think that holding 2 is just such a strong position. Even if the enemy team has Uber and they try to push back, you can typically force that Uber without losing too many people, and then you'll be on mid with an advantage to push 2. So typically in a worst case scenario, you won't be too badly off if you just elect to stay on 2.
Right, you mean when you have 4 points, you're holding them to their
Right,
last?
yeah, you're capping that. You're right. You have your 4. You're pushing last. You know, yeah, I can't speak right now, but you don't have any reason to push unless you want to. It's a position of strength that you shouldn't give up too easily.
Yeah, and that's not really just true on this map. That's true on pretty much every map, is holding their 4, even if you have 0% Uber against their 100% and they have a kill, it's really easy to force that Uber and get out, just because of the way the spawns work, and most 4s are really easily defensible, so...
Right, and the pressure should have been on Mixup to try to make a play with that Uber, but instead, Make Sense played right into their hands by allowing them to take all those frags with their Uber.
It's true. Yeah, I don't feel like the decision for them there was we need to push in and force this Uber. I think they thought we need to push in and win the round, but what you're saying is definitely true. It's like, it doesn't hurt to be a little cautious when you're on the 4, because, as long as you keep your medic and demo alive, you're not going to lose the 4 for free, and that keeps you in a good position the entire time. Wait, is there a Flow versus HRG match tonight?
I didn't see it on the schedule, but it seems like it is now.
Let's do it.
Looks like it got nice. They just scheduled this.
Thank you, Dr. Haphazard, for posting that in chat, because I wouldn't have known about that. I'm going to go bump my thread, say that I'm doing another match.
We already have enough viewers for them to be helpful.
Yeah, man. We got up to I think 57 viewers. I didn't see it the entire time, but it was a lot, so thanks for coming down to watch on a Monday night. I guess since not many people are playing matches these days, there's plenty of people that can watch them, so...
Yeah, I guess everybody else was as bored as we were.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop and start my stream real quick so that I can break up these 2 VODs, but I'll restart in 5 seconds, so if the stream's not working for you in a bit, just refresh the page and it should work.